25, and we will reconvene the special city commission meeting. All right, how do you want to proceed with taking the next step?
Sure, Mayor and Commissioner, thank you for everyone sitting today, especially the presenter. Thank you for all your effort and presentation. So Mayor and Commissioner, based on your reviewing the proposal, staff's comments, and oral presentation, I believe if you have any question, more than welcome, let us know that you ask the proposers. If not, I already passed out the selection sheet. I give it one just for backup. If you can ask my 3 firms that you like the top choice, and we will collect and tally them. Oh, right. Also, if you would like to discuss now, please welcome to discuss, and then we can start the tally when you're ready.
Okay. Well, first of all, let me just say publicly, the good news is we had 6 very fine proposals. The bad news is we got to somehow wean that down to 3. So, thanks, guys. No, in all fairness, thank you all for high-quality presentations from each and every one of you. It does make our job more difficult, but that's a good thing. We are confident. I'm confident that no matter where we end up with this, we will have we'll have 3 very good teams with which to negotiate. So thank you very much. And now I'll just open it up. I don't know if any commissioners have any questions or comments that they would like to express, or do you want to go straight to voting? Commissioner Lambert.
Thank you, Mayor. I too want to, first of all, thank you and the staff for this extensive process that we went through for this. As we have mentioned multiple times throughout the presentations, this is a very special and important piece of property, not only within the city, but that the city owns. And so I'm excited to see this be developed. Thank you to all of the applicants and proposers here today. This city-owned site is a little unlike some of the typically city-owned sites that we negotiate and talk about from the dais, is that those sites are typically owned by the CRA. And so another reason why I think this is so important that we select a partner that not only meets the goals and objectives of the ITN, but also one that we feel like is a true partner with us in the city to help meet the goals of making this a special location, a gateway to our city, somebody who we can trust and who we can work with. As far as the goals and objectives, I think, we went through a lot of community input. Commissioner Warren, you may not have been on the dais at the time. I can't remember. You may have been very new, but I appreciate all your questions related to the community input to the developers. But in fact, a lot of community input came through even before we developed the ITN. And I think that these goals and objectives are spot on, but some of the ones that really stand out for me and that I'll be using to make my selection today are the ones that spur economic impact for the south end of our city, that create opportunities for permanent employment, that incorporate public and open space along the C-51 canal, provide opportunities for connectivity with the golf course, and the potential for spurring on redevelopment of the location next door. So those, as well as finding a partner who we can work with on the site and making sure that we do see this come to fruition. Thank you.
One question I did want to ask of staff, just for some clarification. Two areas. One is the purchase price, and I know under our ordinances there is a certain formula that is the floor, and how do we get there? I know it's based upon an appraisal, and then the second is really this definition of workforce housing, and this is probably something you all will have to get into in the actual negotiations. But I'd like to hear, because I know we as a body just passed an incentive program for workforce housing, at least in the downtown area. Can you remind us what the AMI calculations were with that incentive program? And because I think we should be consistent, but I'm just one person.
Sure. Thank you,
Those
Mayor.
two areas, the workforce housing definition and the purchase price process.
Excellent. Yes, Mayor. So as it relates to question number one, which was the purchase price, and the city attorney is happy to further allude to that, but as it indicates that we have to, for a property valued over $500,000, we must obtain 2 appraisals. And in order to determine the purchase price, we have to take the average of that appraisal, and it has to be within no less than 85% of the average of those appraisals. We have to be within a 6-month time frame of when we execute the agreement, so we will have to update those appraisals. Those appraisals will be part of our negotiations, because that may change, in essence, the purchase price. So that is something that we'll have to consider as we move forward with negotiations.
And obviously you stated publicly, but those proposers should understand that, I mean, I don't know what the appraisals look like, but it could be higher than what they may have anticipated. So they'll have to take that into account.
That is
as we
correct,
get into
Mayor.
Negotiations.
And that was detailed in the ITN as well.
Okay, all right, very good.
Yes. So, Madam Attorney, did I address all of the components?
Jennifer did reiterate the requirements for appraisals of the sale of city property appropriately. It's 6 months from the date of the ordinance that we actually enter into that will convey the property either by lease or sale.
Okay. Now, workforce housing.
And so, yes, Mayor, your second question as it relates to workforce housing, the city's definition of workforce housing and what the income ranges are. As the mayor alluded to, we just approved a downtown housing incentive program, and we recognize affordable and workforce housing between 60 and 100% of the AMI. So in the event that we were to negotiate any workforce housing components at your direction, that's what we would recommend to look into, those AMI ranges.
Okay. Commissioner Shoaf.
Thank you, Mayor, and want to echo too, thank you to everyone who's come out today with presentations, excellent presentations, as well as my thanks to staff. I know this has been a very robust process, and it shows. This is how you get such good quality proposals. One thing I wanted to take a moment of privilege, since we do have so many members of the development community here. You know, we ask a lot of questions today about MWBE and involving community and minority communities, and one of the things that I look at when we have teams come up is where they, I guess, put their money where their mouth is. So how much diversity is on your team when we're looking at our renderings even, how many people of color are in your renderings? It really goes to show where you're looking for your development to go. So as you look forward on your proposals, I guess one point of suggestion is to look at what the diversity is in the pictures that you're showing. We've had many that do a really great job at it, and so I applaud you for that as well. I think today we're looking at giving some feedback to staff as well on what we'd like to see going forward from any one of our partners. And I think to the mayor's point, looking at workforce housing is really important on the list as 1/6 of this deciding body. And then looking at the timing for the other, I understand each project has different components and may require a different timing, but we have anywhere from 2023 to 2026, and to the extent that we can get something sooner rather than later, even at looking at what the give and take is there. And to the point of purchase price versus some other incentives, understanding we have the parameters certainly to follow from the ordinance. If it means us as a body giving more on the purchase price in exchange for having workforce housing, I think this represents a great opportunity to have that mixed income type housing and geographically dispersed that I know of. We don't have any other kind of workforce or affordable development within this area. So I think it represents a really good opportunity. So in your negotiations, I guess those would be my priorities. So thank you very much.
Commissioner Lambert.
Quick question, I do have a list of items that I'd like to point out for negotiation, but I was going to hold them until after we voted. Do you want them now?
I think we should wait till after you
Okay.
voted, and then we will take those comments.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so now we're just looking at comments, questions on the actual selection process. Are there any further, or should we go straight to the ballots? All right, let's go straight to the ballots.
Just point of clarification, Mayor, we're checking 3 in no particular order, no rank order, just selecting 3.
Right, you
Not
just
ranking.
X mark them, 3 firms that you would like to bring onto the table. So when you're ready, yes. Oh, thank you. We will. Okay. We're looking for mayor first. No, I'm on the, oh, do you have mayor? Wait, I had to put in order. All right. All right, I'm going to have procurement official read out those selection. I'll type it into the screen. If you see any mistake, please let me know. Thank you. You're going to go start with.
Okay, for Mayor, Keith A. James, selected Flagler Realty and Development, Hyperon Development Group, and Kaufman, Lynn, and Falcon Group.
Flagler, Hefner, and Coughlin. Okay. Give them
Mr. President, Commissioner Joseph A. Peduzzi, selected Blue Way Partners, Hyperion Development Group, Coffin, Lynn, and Falcon Group. Commissioner Shoaf selected Blue Way Partners, Flagler Realty and Development, and Kaufman, Lynn, and Falcon Group. Commissioner Lambert selected Blue Way Partners, Flagler Realty and Development, and Kaufman, Lynn, Falcon Group. Commissioner Fox selected Affiliated Development, Blue Way Partners, Kaufman, Lynn, and Falcon Group. Commissioner Warren selected Affiliated Development, Gilbrain Development Company, and Kaufman, Lynn, and Falcon Group.
All right. Thank you, Paul. All right, I'm going to bring to the tally page. Affiliate Development received 2 votes. Blue Way received 4 votes. Flagler Realty received 3 votes. Gilban received 1 vote. Hyperion received 2 votes. Kaufman, Lynn, and Falcon received 6. So the most received vote will go by the top rank. So the first one will be Kaufman and Lynn Falcon Group. The second highest vote will be Blue Way Partner. The third highest rank will be Flagler Realty. Okay, Mayor, Commissioner, here's the vote that we have. Kaufman, Lynn, and Falcon, Blue Way Partner, Flagler Realty and Development. Those are top 3 selected for the contract negotiation. And the staff would like to ask any advice for the contract term, special term that you would like to advise to the staff. Thank you.
Well, I certainly would want to have a workforce housing component in there. I'd like to have a good relationship, collaboration with the golf course. Those are two areas that are very important to me. Commissioner Lambert, did you have your hand up?
Yes, thank you. And again, thank you to everyone. That was a very difficult decision. So also, I neglected to thank the Citizen Review Committee and all of the residents who gave us input to get here today. So this truly is a community-wide effort. I echo the mayor and my colleagues' comment about affordable workforce housing. I think this is a great location for mixed income. As has been mentioned many times, a number of different income levels in this neighborhood. As many of the proposers put forth in their proposals, I think a focus on public art would help us with the focus on that public realm and feel a sense of community. One of the proposers mentioned this, but I'd like to make sure it's, kept in mind during the negotiation process, which is mitigating traffic on South Dixie. There's a lot of turns on that street, and so entering and coming out of businesses, so if we can take that into consideration. We've had a number of discussion on MWBE participation. I'd love to see us exceed the city's goals in that area. And as the mayor has mentioned many times, this is a very prominent Latin and Hispanic neighborhood. And I just would like to point out that community outreach to these communities is more than just translating into Spanish. And while those efforts are appreciated, there is much more into making inroads into those neighborhoods, and I would hope that we take those efforts to do that. As I mentioned before, connecting to the waterfront, a sense of place where all neighbors feel welcome, not just people who might be shopping there at that time or living there. Open, dedicated green space. And finally, but equally important to all the rest, a clear timeline of what we can expect and, in this partnership. So thank you so much.
Any other commissioners want to weigh in at this point? Clearly, staff is available. If you think of some other issues, areas of concern, you could certainly express that to them directly or through Ms. Johnson and get that to them. All right, are there any other comments for the good of the order?
I do have a question, Mayor.
Yes.
If I could. So what can we expect as far as the process moving forward and the next timeline and next steps for us, for the developers that were selected for negotiation?
Sure. So what we're going to do now, Commissioner, is we're going to establish an internal negotiation team, which will likely be appraised of myself, development services, and other members of administration as we move forward with the negotiations. We'll be negotiating with all of the three developers or proposers in accordance to the goals that were outlined in the ITN, as well as the items that you just discussed now that you'd like for us to further emphasize on. Once we have negotiated development terms and conditions, we will bring that term sheet back to you for review and consideration, and for hopefully selection for us to move forward with establishing an agreement and moving forward with developing the project.
So the goal would be to bring 3 different term sheets back to us to review.
That is correct.
In an estimated timeline? I'm sorry if you said that.
We don't have an estimated timeline, but we'll try to move it as quickly as possible. We understand the importance and urgency of this project, so this is a top priority for our administration and for myself as the project manager.
And in the beginning comments, you had talked about the waterway, South Florida Water Management District. I presume that as part of the negotiation process, we'll encourage the developers to do their due diligence to find out what is applicable along that waterway and what is not.
Absolutely.
Okay, great. Thank you.
And there may be some time involved with applying for whatever permits are necessary at the appropriate time, so that may affect the timeline.
Correct.
I just wanted to also thank staff. We have come a long way from when we first decided to sell this property to come with the process, the public engagement strategy, which was obviously very important, and to now that we're here at this point. And it has not, my advice to staff has always been, let's get it right and not rush it. So it may have taken slower than some would have suggested, but I am quite pleased with where we are now. Now, I know we have to roll up our shirt sleeves and do some more work with the negotiations, but that's the fun part. Is there anything else for the good of this body? Okay, thank you all very much. Again, thank you to all the applicants, and happy holidays, everyone. This meeting is adjourned.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.